Hey guys, it's Dorian Nicole back with another video. So welcome back to the channel. Of course, if you are not new here, thank you so much for tuning in again. I appreciate you for continuing to support and continuing to watch my videos. If you are subscribed, then thank you for being a part of the fam bam. And if you are not subscribed, then I'm not sure what the problem is, but make sure you hit the subscribe button. Okay. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Dorian Nicole, and on this channel, we discuss all things home, all things lifestyle, and all things DIY. So today, I am here for my first little sit-down talk video since I finished my office. So welcome to my office, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. So jumping right into it, I'm sure you all can tell by the title, this is going to be a home video specifically for those people who are, I guess, battling with the decision of should you buy a home, should you not buy a home? Should you buy a home, should you continue to rent? Because we know that is the great debate. I am here to, I guess, help. If you're trying to make the decision, I'm here to provide some assistance. I'm here to provide some guidance. I'm really here just to give you the real on home ownership, okay? I feel like people always want to discuss the good about owning a home. They always talk about all of the benefits of owning a home, but a lot of people don't like to talk about the cons to owning a home, because there are cons to owning a home. Owning a home does come with its difficulties. It comes with its price tag, okay? It comes with a lot that I think many people are not aware of. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you my truth about home ownership, okay? The truth about home ownership. And before we get into the video, I do want to let you know, if you are considering buying a home, buying your first home, if you want to be a first-time home buyer, but you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, you're just lost and you need assistance, I am here to help. And if you stay until the end of the video, then I will have something that will help you with the process, getting started with the process from the beginning of the process all the way up until closing, okay? So make sure you stay till the end of the video so that you can get that information as well. I'm going to start with the cons of owning a home. We're gonna get those out the way. I feel like they are things you should be aware of, but I personally don't think they are things that should turn you away from buying a home. I just think you should take them into consideration to decide if owning a home is the best decision for you. A lot of times people just aren't in the space financially to buy a home, or it's just not for them. Buying a home is not for everybody. But just know that there are a lot of things that go into buying your home. There are a lot of things that come with owning a home, and there are a lot of things that you should definitely be prepared for. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to home ownership is the upfront costs. There are a lot of upfront costs that come with buying a home that people don't tell you about. Everybody knows about your down payment. If you're using a government-backed loan, an FHA loan, then you know that you 3.5% down. If you get lucky, you get first-time homebuyer grants, then you may have to put nothing down. But that doesn't mean that you won't have to pay anything to get into your house. That does not mean that just because you have a $0 down payment, you'll be paying nothing to get into your house. That is not a thing. Do not let anybody tell you that you can buy a house for $0, because that is not the case, okay? Your down payment is one thing, completely separate. This is the money that you're putting down on the purchase price of your home in determining how much the lender is going to give you for the rest. And then comes your closing costs. So your closing cost is a totally different thing. It's a totally separate, those are totally separate fees that you usually pay at closing. And then on top of that, you also have out-of-pocket fees that you have to pay throughout the process. So, like I said, down payment is the initial payment that you put down on your property when you decide that you're going to buy the home, okay? Your closing costs will include several different things that will be dependent upon what kind of house you're buying, what type of loan you get, your lender. There are a lot of factors that play a part in your closing costs. So it's kind of impossible to give you an amount for what your closing costs will be, but it's important to know that you will have extra fees that you will have to pay at closing. So some of these fees include your loan origination fee. So that is the fee that you are essentially paying for getting this loan from the lender. They charge you a loan origination fee. You have to pay a mortgage insurance premium if you are putting down less than 20%. So if you're getting an FHA loan and you're only required to bring 3.5% and pay 3.5% down, that's great. But know that you will be paying a mortgage insurance premium on top of your mortgage for the loan. And usually it's a monthly payment that you'll have to pay until you've built up 20% equity in your home, and then you'll no longer be responsible for paying that. But if you put down less than 20% on your home, you will be required to pay mortgage insurance premiums. So beware of that. There's also a credit report fee. So your lender will have to pull your credit report in order to see how much you qualify for, if you qualify for a loan, and there is a fee for that. You won't have to pay it up front, but it will be a part of your closing costs that you will be paying at closing. You will have to pay for a title search and title insurance. So after you've done your inspections and all that stuff, once you've put in an offer on your house, you will have to find a title company. The title company is responsible for making sure that nobody else holds claim to your property, or nothing else holds claim to your property. So to make sure there are no liens, there are no nothing that's owed on the house, and to make sure that nobody else can claim this property. Nobody else can say that they have ownership in this property. So you do have to pay a fee for that. And then title insurance would be insurance to make sure that nothing happens down the line. So nobody will come later on down the line saying that this is their property. That's what the title insurance is for as well. So that's also wrapped into your closing costs. So your closing costs will make up a lot of different fees that you are responsible for that people don't tell you up front. So this information will come from your mortgage lender. Before closing, they should send you a full complete list of everything that you're being charged, and then the number at the bottom will be your closing costs, which is what you're responsible for bringing to the table the day of closing. And then along with your closing and your down payment, you'll also be responsible for paying some fees out of pocket up front. So your home inspection fee, your appraisal fee, and if you decide that you're going to hire an attorney, usually those fees are paid up front. You don't have to hire an attorney, but if you feel like it'll make you more comfortable, then you can hire an attorney. So your home inspection fee, of course, is for all of your home inspections, for somebody to come in and look at the property, make sure you're not buying a property that has a whole bunch of foundational issues or plumbing issues, electrical issues. So you do have to pay for your home inspection. Some sellers will try to persuade you to waive an inspection. Me being a real estate agent and being a homeowner, I would never advise you to waive a home inspection, because you just never know what's going on in the property unless you get it inspected. Even when you get it inspected, you still don't know what's going on, because depending on what type of work has been done to the property, like my property was a newly renovated property, so it was newly painted, new floors, and all kinds of stuff. But now, me being here 3 years, there are things that are coming about that I wasn't aware of and that couldn't be found during the home inspection because everything had been newly painted and newly done. But now that the house is settling and I'm living in here, I'm noticing some things, but it's nothing major because I got my home inspection done before. And with my home inspection, there were a few things that the seller had to repair before I moved in. So that's why it's always good to get a home inspection, because if there are things that aren't good, like foundational issues, issues with the roof, like really serious things, you can make sure that the seller repairs those things and fixes those things before you move in, so that it won't be something that you'll have to be responsible for once you move into the house. But if you waive those home inspection fees, if you waive the home inspection, then that won't be a thing. Whatever you walk into is what you're stuck with. So home inspection is really important. I would definitely say that you should get a home inspection. Usually, depending on what type of inspections you get, because there are a list of inspections, your home inspection can run you anywhere up to $600, and you will be responsible for that upfront. So make sure that you are aware of that. And then your appraisal fee can run you anywhere between $300 and $500, and that's also something that you have to pay for upfront. So make sure all of the costs that are associated with homeownership, you want to make sure that you know what they are and make sure that you are prepared for them. Don't just calculate your down payment. If you see a house, you want this $250,000 house, don't just calculate your 3.5% and think that you're done and you have enough money to move in, because no, you're not. There are a lot of other fees that you have to be aware of and have to take note of and have to make sure that you have the money for, to both put out upfront and to have with you at closing. This is why for first-time homebuyers, it's really important to make sure that you are taking advantage of any first-time homebuyer programs that you qualify for, because that will help lower your down payment and closing costs. So there are a lot of first-time homebuyer grants and loans and programs that you can become a part of, that you can take advantage of. They do have limits, so make sure that you do your research before you start this process to make sure that you're taking advantage of first-time homebuyer programs and that you know all of the fees and costs associated with buying your home up front. Another thing, and I guess you could include this with costs, but it's not like upfront costs. It's actually the cost associated with living in your home. So we're basically talking about utilities. So everybody knows utilities: gas, electric, water, internet. If you have a security system, like, these are things that you have to account for as well. If you're renting, you may be responsible for utilities, but you're never really responsible for like the whole property. When you own a home, you're responsible for the whole property. Okay. The utilities are yours. Nobody else can pay them. There's no landlord. It's you. It's all you. When you buy a home, everything is on you. Okay? So utilities included. Your utilities is on you. And depending on the season, depending on what you got going on, your utilities could go up or your utilities can go down. It's really no telling. Like, a lot of people will tell you gas in the winter is crazy, outrageous, hundreds of dollars for gas in the winter, because it's cold, because you're using your heat. You will pay hundreds of dollars for gas in the winter. Usually in the summer, for me, my electric bill goes up because I'm running my AC. I got fans. I'm doing all this stuff at Christmas time because I want to plug in all my low lights. I know my electric bill is going up. Of course, there are things that you can do to kind of limit your usage on utilities so that it's not so high, but there's still only so much you can do, and you're still responsible for the whole house. So where with an apartment, you may only be responsible for like this one little area. With a house, you got the upstairs, the downstairs, the basement. All of that is your responsibility. So utilities will be rather high, or higher than if you're renting. Let me just say that. Another con, I'm calling these cons, but they're not really cons. They're just things that you should be aware of and know about. Another one would be your property taxes, insurance, and any type of homeowners association fees or condo fees that you may have to pay. So your homeowners insurance, usually if you're a first-time home buyer, your homeowners insurance will be wrapped into your mortgage loan. However, your homeowners insurance can increase. So just like car insurance, life insurance, any other type of insurance that you have, your homeowner's insurance will increase due to inflation. That's what they like to tell you, and it'll go up. My homeowner's insurance after my first year being here went up, I want to say almost $200. And so at that point, you can shop around for homeowner's insurance. Most people don't tell you this, and they think that, you know, once you buy a home, you're stuck with whatever homeowner's insurance you decided to get. But you can shop around for new homeowners insurance to try and lower your payment and your premium. So make sure that you do that. Property taxes is a little bit different. There's not much that you can do to get out of property taxes or to lower property taxes. You can get on like payment arrangements for your property taxes, but property taxes have to be paid. They are very important. It's very important that you pay your property taxes. Just like any other type of taxes, the government do not play about their money. So make sure that you are paying your property taxes for your home. Property taxes are usually based on what's happening around your neighborhood. So if you have a lot of properties that are being renovated, if people are getting work done, if the values of the homes are going up, then more than likely your property taxes will increase. So Like I said, not much that you can do about property taxes increasing, but if it does get to a point where it's really outrageous for you, you can always call and try to see if you can get on some type of payment plan where you're paying a set monthly amount and they kind of work it out for you over the course of a year or whatever the case may be. But do not get stuck in anything. Make sure that you are reaching out to see what can be done. So if you decide that you're going to buy a condo or a townhome or any type of home that has a homeowners association, you will be responsible for paying a fee on top of your mortgage. On top of your mortgage. People usually confuse that. They think that if there's a condo fee or homeowners association fee, that's already wrapped into your mortgage. But those fees are usually in addition to the mortgage, and they can get very hefty depending on what kind of amenities you have. If it's a condo, the neighborhood, the area, condo fees can be more than your mortgage. I've seen condo fees of like $1,000, which I think is completely outrageous. But if that is the set condo fee or if that is the set homeowners association fee, that is what you are responsible for. So condo and association fees like property taxes is not really something that you can get out of. You can't lower your condo fee, you can't lower your homeowners association fee because essentially everybody that lives there is paying the same fee. So you can't just, lower that payment on your own. It is something that you be responsible for, but just know that it is a fee that is in addition to your mortgage payment. Another thing that you have to be aware of that a lot of people don't talk about is your neighbors and the neighborhood. So one of the things with owning a home is you can't choose your neighbors. You're stuck with whoever lives next to you, whoever lives across the street, whoever lives down the street. These are your neighbors that you're stuck with, and it can be a pain. Keep in mind that you never know who you're moving next to. And I feel like that's the same with renting, but I feel like when you're renting, because there's only so much you can do, you usually don't see. Well, I know for me, when I was renting, I never really saw my neighbors. Usually with renting, it's not that type of thing. But when you own a home, like you're outside, your front yard, backyard, like whatever, and your neighbors are your neighbors. And so you may end up with some neighbors that are not very nice. You may end up with some neighbors that are not very clean. And there are just certain things that you can't control. So beware that, you never really know until you know. So even if you go and you scope out a neighborhood before you buy the home, you never really know what's going on until you are living in there. Once you move into that property, we all here. So yeah, beware of neighbors. Sometimes you might get lucky and you might get good neighbors. I know people who love their neighbors and they're like a family now with their neighbors, but that's not always the case. You may end up with some neighbors that are not very great, and you just have to learn how to navigate that because that's not something you can change. Once you buy your house, it's your house. And if you like me and these people have been living here all their lives, they're not going nowhere. So you're just gonna have to learn how to deal with it, okay? So definitely be prepared. And the last con that I want to discuss is probably the most important one. Most important. So listen up. If you ain't been listening this far, then listen up, okay? Most important is maintenance and repairs. I don't think people really take into consideration the type of maintenance that has to be done on a home until they move in. Even if you've moved into a nicer home, like I always say, my home was newly renovated when I moved in. And although they did really nice work like on the outside, there I can tell now that I've been here for a couple of years that there's some issues that they kind of just did like some little quick patchwork over and they moved on. And so now I'm here and these are turning into my problems. And even though I got a home inspection, like I said, the home inspection is not always going to account for everything. And if something is newly renovated, you usually won't know what the problems are until things start to settle. So that is where I am now in the settling phase. And there are things that I just have to take care of because nobody else is going to do it. And that's one of the things that you have to take into consideration when you become a homeowner, is that maintenance and repairs, whatever goes wrong with the property, is now on you to fix. It's on you to find a person to fix it. It's on you to pay the person to fix it. Everything is on you. Definitely beware of like maintenance that you have to, and not just repairs, like things that need to be fixed, like big things, like when things go wrong and stop working, but also maintenance. Maintenance means keeping up with things. I think that's one of the things that people don't take into consideration, is like, okay, nothing may be wrong, but there's still things that you need to maintain. You still should clean out your filter. Your stove, you should keep up with your stove. Make sure you are cleaning your washing machine, your dryer, your dishwasher, your refrigerator. Make sure you are cleaning these things. Make sure you are wiping down walls. Make sure you are wiping down baseboards. Like, you really have to keep up with your house. You really have to clean your house and make sure that you aren't just like throwing things all over the place and not cleaning things up, because those turn into bigger issues. But if you are taking care of your house while you're in it and maintaining it, then it'll be easier down the line. Like, you won't have things just breaking out of nowhere and whatever. Because once something breaks and it becomes a big issue, now we're talking about big money. Okay. So you don't want to get to that point. So make sure that you are maintaining your property. And then if something goes wrong, make sure that you are not waiting and waiting and waiting to get it fixed, because of course it turns into a bigger issue. So you got a little tiny something going wrong, get on it right away. Make sure that it don't become a bigger issue so that you won't have to put out a whole bunch of money. It's really about knowing what to do, knowing who to call, knowing how to get certain advantages and certain perks and certain discounts and certain payment agreements. Like, you really have to make it work for you, and you really can make it work for you. I will always say that I still think owning is better than renting. Homeownership has so many different benefits that I think they will always outweigh the cons. To me, they'll always outweigh the negatives. They'll always outweigh the cons, because I feel like the cons of homeownership, or like the negatives of homeownership, can be fixed. There are things that you can do to combat the negatives. Being knowledgeable about the homeownership process, being knowledgeable about what you're really getting yourself into and what you can expect, is going to help you with the negatives of homeownership, and then you'll really be able to benefit more from the positives of homeownership. Like I said, the cons for me, they're really not like cons. They're more of like things you should be aware of, things you should take into consideration, things that you have to prepare yourself for. It's really all about discipline. It's about knowing that you've made this adult decision, this adult move, and now you're responsible for this property. You're responsible for your home, and there are certain things that you have to do to keep up with it, to maintain it, so that you can live in it for years and years to come. Okay. So we are at the end of the video, and like I said, I do have something for you guys. So I've been working really, really hard on this. I decided that I wanted to do this when I bought my home, because I acted as my own agent and I kind of did everything myself. There was so much that I did not know. There was so much that, looking back, I wish I would have known. I do think I made out pretty well with a little bit of knowledge that I had, but now that I have so much more knowledge, and I've been a homeowner and I've been in real estate and like learning about the process and learning about the industry, there is a lot that I think people aren't aware of. And so I have created a first-time homebuyer guide for anybody that is looking to buy their first home. If you are in the process, if you have not started the process, but you're thinking about starting the process, or if you homeownership is nowhere near in sight for you, that's okay too. You can also use this guide. It's basically to help prepare you for homeownership. So it'll walk you through the whole entire process from beginning to end. It provides you with resources for first-time homebuyer programs, resources for repairing and fixing your credit. It provides all of the things that I wish I knew when I was going into buying my first home. And so I will leave the link in the description below. It is not a free guide because I put so much time and energy and work into it. It is $9.99, but I think that's a little good. I think the price is good for the information that you're going to receive, for the resources that you're going to receive. And so that is what I have for you guys today. So make sure you click the link below and purchase the guide, the ebook, if you are interested in buying your first home. And of course, if you have any questions, any comments, anything that you can add, comment down below, let me know. But if you have specific questions or if there are things that you would like for me to elaborate on, I will leave my email in the description as well so that you can get in contact with me. If we get enough questions, I will come back and do a little Q&A for, all my first time home buyers. So definitely let me know. Make sure you shoot me an email if you have questions, but go ahead and purchase this guide because like I said, I think there's so much that we don't know about buying a home. Everybody's like, buy a home, buy a home, buy a home. But how, Slay? How am I buying a home if I don't know how? Like, I need answers. I need to know, what steps do I need to take? Where do I start? What do I need to be prepared for? What do I need to look for? Who do I need to contact? All that information is in the first time homebuyer guide that I've created for you guys. So definitely make sure you take advantage of that. So that is all that I have for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you yourself are a homeowner, any advice, any suggestion that you can give to those people who are considering buying their first home, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. Let me know. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will see you guys in the next one.